everybody, and welcome to another edition of Big Blue Kickoff Live, presented by Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Football Giants. I am John Schmeelk, joined by Jonathan Casillas, right here in our podcast studio, presented by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. Hello, everybody. We're turning the page. The Philadelphia Eagles, Mr. Casillas, 2 times in 3 weeks. The Eagles are coming off a very, very tidy 34-27? Was that the final in that game? Do you have that handy by any chance? I can look that up.
Get it real quick.
I think it was 34-27 against the Minnesota Vikings last week. 28-22. Wasn't even close. 28-22. It was a one-score game. I guess that was somewhat close. And it's funny, and this is going to be our look at the Eagles here, and we'll take your calls, of course, at 201-939-4513. And I rewatched the game to look at the Eagles' offense in that game, and then I don't know if you looked at the defense much. I'll get with you on that too. But despite the fact they scored 28 points and Jalen Hurts at 300 yards and a perfect quarterback rating, the offense still did not do it for me, JC. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. They got a touchdown on a pick six.
Yep.
They got a touchdown on an 80-yard deep post. They got a touchdown on a double move, and they got a touchdown on a broken play. It was 3 explosives. Yes, is that dangerous with the likes of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? Absolutely. Is that something you have to be careful with? Absolutely. They still could have run the football.
Mm-hmm.
And while Hurts was very consistent completing his passes, it still wasn't like this super efficient, get a bunch of first downs and march the ball down the field type of passing game to me. They were really big play dependent. And this Eagle offense, at least to me, JC, still has a lot of stuff to figure out.
Yeah, I believe so. It's surprising, like just as a fan of football, and I'm still a fan of Saquon. I love the guy, being he was here and I had a great relationship with him. It's surprising to see that they really can't get him going, like at all, And
at all.
And I mean, I'm watching the film and I'm seeing guys kind of missing blocks and stuff like that. It looked like it's really not him, like when I say not him, like he still looks fast, he still looks explosive, he's still making guys miss, but he's getting hit in backfield a lot. But look.
Wait, JC, are you telling me that the success of a running back has a lot to do with what's going on around them? No way.
I mean,
I don't believe. No. I was told that it was all the running back. No?
Well, I mean, he has something to do with it, but
yes,
if he can't get to the line of scrimmage.
If you don't have the blocking, it's not going to matter how good you are, bro.
Yeah.
It's not. And the Eagles' offensive line is not the same.
They're very porous. It looks like there's some mental errors going along. And
they lost their center last week in Cam Jurgens, which hurt them.
This is something that the Giants can exploit. The strength of the Giants is the defensive line up front. Dexter Lawrence is sitting right in the middle. He's probably licking his lips, because we're still waiting for that dominant game from Big Dex. Why not this week, right? This is a team that the Giants have not done well. Yeah, they beat them this year, but they haven't won in Philly. I don't even know the last time. I didn't win.
I do. Philly. Take a guess. What do you think the last year is the Giants won in Philadelphia?
You know what? It just came to me because I heard it this week. 2013? Is that it? Yeah, and I was here in 15.
Do you know the last time the Giants swept the Eagles?
Ooh. I don't.
2007. Wow. It's a long time.
18 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's a very, very, very long time ago.
Yeah, well, the Giants have not had a lot of success against the Eagles over the past 13 seasons. So, well, I should say more than that, about 18 seasons. So it makes sense. But yeah, it's been since 2007 since they swept them.
Yeah, but look, this team, the Eagles, and they're finding a way to win games. So you can't take that from them.
Right.
They're definitely finding a way to win games. This is a team that's sitting at 5-2, and you could easily say the Giants could have won more games. You could easily say the Eagles could have lost some more games, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This team is probably the most vulnerable that they've ever been since this regime has been here for the New York Giants.
I would say maybe 2 years ago when they fell apart at the end of the year.
Yep,
but the Giants did not get them at the end of the year that year, which is why it was a little bit different.
Yeah. So this is...
maybe they got the last game of the year when they were not playing for anything. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good. So this is an opportunity. Like you said, their offense, if you look at the numbers, they look pretty good, but they only really scored 21 points last week. Carson Wentz made a lot of mistakes, especially early last week, the Vikings quarterback, and that put them in opportune situations. And the Vikings, I don't even know if it was like all about the defense that kept them out of the end zone. Because they were 1 of 6 in the red zone.
Oh, the Vikings, the red zone offense stunk.
It was really bad. And it was like a lot of self-inflicted mistakes. But if you look at the Giants and what the Giants have done the fourth quarter last week and then also the Saints game, a lot of self-inflicted mistakes. So this is a game where the team with the most mistakes will lose the game. Right. And the Eagles, no matter what you want to think about them, right? We still hate the Eagles here. That's a consensus. But they don't really make a lot of mistakes. Right. Carson. Jalen Hurts has one interception. That was against the Giants a couple weeks ago. Like they don't fumble the ball. They don't turn the ball over, right? They're smart. They're the best fourth down team that we've probably ever seen in the NFL.
Yep.
So they have a lot of things going for them.
And they're also the best red zone team in the NFL on both sides, offense and defense.
And it's a surprise because usually the team that is a really good red zone team is a team that can really run the ball efficiently. And they really just haven't done it. And they trying to do it. They against the Giants, Saquon had 2 rushes for 31 yards to start the game. Against the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken, they ran the ball 5 times to start the game.
Saquon has 113 rushing attempts this year. It's not like he hasn't gotten that's more than 15 a game.
What is he averaging?
3.27.
Wow. That's career low for him because I think the lowest for the Giants was maybe 3.8, maybe 3.9, something like that. But 3.2, that's like
3.7 in 2021.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was close, but like, man, that's career low, and it's like this is the Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champions, and the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are a 5-2 team. They are a team that is basically slotted right now to be number 2, number 3 seed. Of course, it's way far from the playoffs, but this is the same team. This is the same team.
Do you know what his longest run this year is? Did you look at that stat?
Well, he had one, the 18-yard against the Giants, right?
19?
18.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He has not had a 20-yard run yet this year.
And that blows my mind.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy that he does not have more 20-plus yard runs. That is something that I can't even fathom that for a guy that's explosive does not have a 20-yard run.
And I think that's attributed to basically what he did last year. He is the number 1 threat when you look at this offense, right? And even in the Super Bowl last year, they played against the Chiefs. The Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo, they basically did their best job to take away Saquon. The difference between, I think, that game and last year and this year, they won't keep feeding him the ball. Last year in the Super Bowl, they gave him, I think, 22, 23 carries. He only had 50-something yards. So they were able to kind of keep the box loaded up for the Chiefs defense, and now it's not the same. So
no, you don't have to load the box to slow him down this year is the problem.
You don't, because they're very porous. They're mistake laden among the offensive line, and that's really not characteristics of a Philadelphia offensive line. We haven't seen that. So like I said, this is a great time. So 2007, this is the year. This is the year to go ahead and say, okay, we can go down to Philly into the link, into a rough, tough environment, and go ahead and stop these guys because they're vulnerable, defensively too. They're on the outside, even with Quinyon Mitchell being back, they still were kind of, getting exposed a little bit on the outside, and I do like these linebackers, but I mean, Scatterbull, man, he ran through Zach Bond like he was not a good player at all last week. It was going to be 2 weeks ago. So look, I love going into this game, watching the film on Philly gives me more hope. Because the last few years, man, and even the playoff run when the Giants in 2022, the Eagles slaughtered the Giants that year in every single game. They had over 200 rushing yards in every single game, and it just don't look the same. This is not the same team. This is not the Eagles team that I feared for the last 3 years since I've been working with you.
I agree. I'm with you. They still don't look right. And I think the defense is probably a little bit better than the offense, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think they're probably a little bit ahead of where the offense is at this point. If you can, and again, this is easier said than done. And by the way, guess how many 20-plus yard runs Barkley had last year?
20?
17.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because every game he was breaking 1 or 2.
17.
Yeah,
Second in the league. Only Derrick Henry had more than him. He had 19.
And that's crazy, too, because Derrick Henry's 250 pounds.
And he's also having not a great year, by the way, which doesn't help that Lamar has been banged up. But anyway, I think the Eagle defense is probably a little bit ahead of the offense. But I'm with you, JC. The last thing you can do against this Eagles team is turn the ball over. And that's a big reason the Giants beat them the first week. They were the first game. They were +2 in turnover ratio. I think we broke that down pretty well. Give me the player approach to playing a team twice in 3 weeks. I really want to kind of lock in on Jackson Dart because I think the Eagles' offense is what it is. I don't think you're going to have – I don't think there were many changes last week. There was a little bit more under-center play action, I think, from them last week.
Which worked for them.
Yes, and I think you have to look out for that because that's how you generate some of those big chunk plays down the field. So that's one thing I think the defense will have to adjust to a little bit. But what do you think it means for Jackson Dart that for the first time he's getting the same opponent for a second time that's already seen him, and they saw him just 2 weeks ago? So they're going to be really prepared for what the Giants are trying to do. That's when the Giants 2 weeks ago really started to lead into the 12 personnel stuff with the 2 tight ends. So eventually you're going to run out of new stuff with 2 tight ends. I'm sure they're still rolling out some new stuff that people haven't seen yet, but eventually there's only so many plays. You're going to run out of new stuff with the 12 personnel, the surprise team. So what does that look like now with the Giants offense, seeing a well-coached defense with Vic Fangio for the second time in 3 weeks, and them seeing Jackson Dart for the second time in 3 weeks?
It's not going to be the same. And when I say that, this Eagles defense is better because they have 2 of their guys healthy, Jalen Carter and Quinyon Mitchell.
Maybe 2.
I didn't even see Quinyon leave the game the first time they played, but Carter, he was out from the beginning, and he is a difference maker.
Oh, and Mitchell left the game in the first quarter, and then and look, their biggest weakness is their second quarterback spot, and they had to have Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringer out there, so the Giants could pretty much attack wherever they want in that game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. This is going to be a better defense. This is not going to be the defense that Quinyon Mitchell he's phenomenal. I think he's a really, really good corner.
I agree.
He can cover well. I think he's a good tackler as well. And Jalen Carter, he can wreck a game. He's the Dexter Lawrence for the Philadelphia Eagles. So.
And by the way, he's had a slow start to his year too. He has not looked the same this year.
Had a good hit last week on Carson Wentz.
No, he did.
Great move.
Well, I think they made sure they sat him out against the Giants. We had Dave Spadar on heading into that game, and he told us that, look, he's been kind of battling a knee all year, and he's been playing through it. I think they kind of wanted to give him a week to try to get a little healthier.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense in why he's not as dominant as he's seen, and hopefully he's just not, Superman and a Wolverine and just be super healthy and just dominate, because he is a fantastic player. He's really good, and the Giants have to account for him. But look, Jackson Dart, man, and we do associate rookies with making mistakes. We associate young players with making mistakes. Jackson Dart, this is a game where he can't really make mistakes. The Philadelphia Eagles, man, they just capitalize on the mistakes, and that's who they've been. However you want to look at them last year, the run-oriented team this year, the team that just can do whatever they want to do and need to do in any game, but what they consistently do, they take care of the football.
They've won all their games on the margins, right? They've won it because they're better in the red zone, because they're not turning it over. They're physically dominant still with some of their players, but they haven't dominated teams on the field with their play. So you're right, JC. They've won on the margins. If you get into the red zone, you got to score touchdowns, right? If they get into the red zone, you got to hold them to field goals. Yeah. Don't turn the ball over. And the Giants did that in their first meeting, right? Yes, they won the turnover ratio. They did better in the red zone than Philadelphia did. So those are the things that you have to do if you want to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're going to be fired up here. They're look. You tell me, if you're a player and you're in the Eagles locker room this week, you're probably pretty pissed, right?
Oh,
about
100%.
What the Giants did to you 2 weeks ago.
And look, 100%. So this is the thing about the Eagles and the Giants and the NFC East in general. I feel like, when you're in New Jersey, New York, and Philly is so close, like it's literally the first city in Pennsylvania when you get, like when you leave Jersey, it's the first one, right? You don't have to drive in Pennsylvania for 10 miles, 20 miles. No, it's literally right on the border, right? So there's a lot of fans. Giants fans in Philly. There's a lot of Philadelphia fans in Jersey and New York.
That's right.
So you got to hear it from people all the time. I got so many friends who I blocked them during Philadelphia Eagles week.
Do you really?
I blocked them during, I said, bro, don't come on my Instagram talking crazy. I'm going to block you. But it's so many of those guys. So they've been hearing it from friends, family members, right? My sister is a Cowboys fan. My dad's been a Giants fan all his life. So it's like that's families all over this place, and it's the NFC East. It's like they don't like no other teams, right? They like the Saints because I play for the Saints, but that's what it is. The NFC East, they're everywhere, man, and their fans are everywhere. So you're hearing that. So you better believe that they're getting, an earful this week, and they're getting taunted by their family members. We're going to go down there and beat you guys. Like Cam Scottable's going to be doing backflips. Like they're hearing all that. So they definitely got some pent up frustration and anger, and they want some get back for sure.
And they're whipping out the Kelly Green jerseys this week too.
Yeah,
they're going old school.
Yeah. I like it. I love the alternate jerseys that look sweet.
Yes.
I think those look sweet. I think Giants had 2 alternate jerseys, the all white and the what's it called?
Legacy blue.
The legacy blue, right? Sweet jerseys.
Agreed.
I love when Giants are just traditional.
Dude, how about when the Titans wear the old Houston Oilers jerseys?
Oh, sweet.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
When the Falcons wear their 90s,
the black ones, all black joints. Yeah. Those remind me of the Dirty Bird, right? Remember the Dirty Bird?
Those remind me of Dion returning punts for touchdowns for the Falcons in the early 90s. That's what it hits for me.
And the Giants are traditional white on the road, or they're doing The color rush white.
I'm assuming they're doing the traditional white.
Okay. I mean,
Yes.
That's fine. They're sweet too.
Usually the Giants wear those are at home, if I'm not mistaken, right, Pearson?
Oh, yeah.
The color rush white.
Rush
Or
ones?
I did not call color rush white anymore. They're called tradition white, something like that. They just come out with a new name for them.
Did they switch it up? Because I remember playing in Philly with those white jerseys, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
2016, 17.
I'm gonna bring up the Giants jersey
mistaken.
schedule. I don't have this stuff memorized. All right, so let's see Giants uniform schedule, and then I can tell you exactly. Vintage white is what it's called. No, I knew it was
Vintage
something
white.
like that.
Yeah, because nobody uses color rush anymore. They don't say that as a term anymore.
No,
in the NFL,
that
right?
is not a thing anymore.
When did
All
that
right,
stop?
I don't know. White jersey, white pants, and then for the Niners next week we got the Legacy Blues.
Yeah, I like those. And they break out the old helmets with the white face mask.
Oh, they're so nice.
So I had family over on Sunday watching the game. My dad was over, everybody was over.
And then vintage white is, by the way, at Chicago and home versus Green Bay. So those are the
Okay.
two vintage white games.
So they're looking at the helmets that I have, right? And I got a Giants helmet, of course, Patriots helmet, right? And they're looking, and I'm like, he's like, are these actual, it was a friend of mine. He was like, are these the actual helmets you wear? I was like, yeah, like these are actual helmets. I said, I'm so mad I didn't get the old school Giants helmet.
Well,
with
here's
the
what
white
you should
face
do.
mask.
You should go down there. I'm sure Chris Pridey and his group, Legacy Blues coming up in 2 weeks. They're probably already getting the helmets ready. I'm
Yeah.
sure if you wrote the organization a check, they'd be happy to give you.
I would definitely write a check for that.
I think just ask them.
They might hook me up. These my guys here.
They're your
They're
guys.
still my
That's
guys.
true.
Slay's my guy.
Absolutely, but they're nice.
Those are sweet.
They're nice.
The only thing is, which sucks, they're not gonna have any scratches on them. I don't want a brand new helmet. I want a banged up helmet.
Well, you
that
can
I've
put it
worn.
on and like run into some stuff
No,
like Scatterbo when you get home.
But that's the cool part of having like your own helmet at the house, because it's like I got a little green paint on it from Green Bay. You know what I mean? Like that's awesome. You know, the jerseys that I like. DRC put me on this. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. I seen him taking his jerseys home, and I'm like, "You take your jerseys?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't know how much more football I got left. Give me my jersey. Just give me my jersey." I didn't even think about that. Like I never thought about it. I never thought about my own jerseys, you know, and having basically a collection of my own jerseys, which I do now, and it was because of DRC. And then you look through the jerseys.
Do you have any from your prior stops or no?
I do, but I got like 8 from the Giants, you know, like, but they were the first of all, the equipment guys here, they're awesome. They
great.
were awesome back then. Slay's still here. They're still awesome. And look, they already knew it. It's like, JC, you taking your jersey? Like, yeah, they charge you for it, but these are priceless items.
That's memories.
These are priceless items, you know, and I've given them out to like very, very special people. Like, of course, my daughter got one, my mom got one, my
That's
dad
cool.
got
That's
one,
nice.
my best friend got one. Like, you know,
Paul Dottino got one.
Because not yet, maybe soon. Because a lot of people say, "Hey man, I want your jersey." I was like, "Bro, just go on to NFLshop.com, customize it, I'll sign it for you." Like, but there's only special people that get those jerseys. You know what I'm saying? And for me, when I go back and I go through my closet, I got like, you know, I got teammates that I've played with, teammates that I played against, college guys that played on other teams, and I'm going through them and I'm just looking at my stuff and I can remember the game because of the colors that are on it. You know what I mean? Like there's green, there's yellow,
like that.
you know,
That's
like
cool.
purple, you know, so that's cool. Yeah, I like
So
that.
did you miss the whole jersey exchange crave, or did you do a couple of jersey exchanges after games?
I did a couple. The one that comes to mind was DeAndre Levy, because he played at Wisconsin with me.
Okay.
We came in the same year. We came out the same year. He played for Detroit. I played for 4 teams. I think he played for Detroit his whole career, if I'm not mistaken.
Defensive tackle?
No,
What was he?
linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
He was
Okay,
the Sam
I
I was a
remember
Will,
that. Okay.
and you know, we had very similar careers in college, and then in the NFL, man, he was a tremendous linebacker for the Detroit Lions, man. I think one year he led the league in interceptions.
Oh,
for,
really?
the first,
I didn't know that.
10 games of the year. But that was for me because, you know, he's a brother. You know, when you know, we was roommates when we were freshmen. So this is like a guy that I consider a brother of mine, and you know, being able to play against him in the NFL and in exchange jerseys, like that was awesome for me. That's like one of my better memories of the NFL.
To be a fly on the wall of that dorm room.
You know what's so crazy though, Pearson? You guys know me, I'm very talkative, right? I'm very outgoing. He was not.
Oh, really?
So within like a week, I said, "This is not happening, bro. You're gonna talk to me. You're not gonna." I say, "What's up, man? How your day was?" You know, it was cool. No. Give me your day. Like you got to talk to me, because you know the dorms is
Where's he from?
bigger than this.
Where's he from? Like Florida? Florida
He
guy?
is DeAndre Levy is from. He's from Wisconsin. No, he's from Wisconsin. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, he's a local. Okay.
He's from Milwaukee. Yeah, he's from Milwaukee.
Okay.
He's from Milwaukee,
So
Wisconsin.
he's one of these quiet Midwestern tough guys.
He was literally the quietest dude ever, but on the field, he was a maniac. He was a maniac,
He
like
just flipped
talking
the
more
switch?
smack than
Really?
anybody.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, he was a maniac. But I love playing with him. And, we were literally yin and yang. Like, we were two different guys, but on the field, we were the same person. Like, we were like just crazy guys running around hitting stuff. That's why we really got along, because on the field and the work we put in and the study habits we had and the challenges we would do against each other, we would always lift together, work out together. And, that competition, man, I love that. All of my best friends since I played football were guys I was competing with, right? When I was here with the Giants, my best friend was JT Thomas. We played the same exact position, and we competed for playing time. We hung out together. We went to Thanksgiving at each other's houses. So I love that dynamic of the NFL. I love that dynamic of sports, the competitive nature with friends that you consider brothers forever,
Were you here with Kelvin Shepherd when he was here?
Yeah, of course.
He's doing a great job, too, in Detroit, man. I'm very happy for him. He's such a good dude, too.
Such a good dude. Smart guy, cerebral guy. And one of the things for him when he got here, and something that I felt like we needed, when he got here, he was a guy that brought everybody together. He's like, JC, what you doing later? I'm just going home. Well, everybody going to JPP house. All right, cool. JPP lived in Secaucus. He lived right down the street. So we got 10 guys over there hanging out. And it was very consistent. We were doing that real consistent.
Don't tell me what happened over there when all you guys were
but
JPP's
that was 2016 when we were the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL. The reason why I say that is because I've been a part of sports a very long time. My daughter's doing sports now too. And it's a common theme. The people that hang out away from the building, the people that hang out away from the sport, those are the teams that win. Because you form a bond with these guys, and you I don't want to compare war, battle, but that's our form of war and battle when we go to games. And I want to make sure this guy got my back, and what better way to know your guy got your back when you're hanging with them away from the war, away from the battlefield.
No question. All right, 201-939-4513, 201-939-4513. The Giants Foundation will host a 5K racing kids run presented by Quest on this Sunday, October 26th, 9 a.m. at MetLife Stadium. Net proceeds will benefit the Giants Foundation. All participants will receive a commemorative T-shirt, and after the race, stay for a post-race festival with appearances by Giants legends and a live DJ. Register now at giants.com/5K. The Giants Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. I'm assuming you're going to be at that thing?
Yes.
I figured that.
Yep.
So will Tiki Barber. So check it out. You can hang out with Tiki and JC. Are you actually running the 5K?
Nope. No, sir.
Was there any consideration to running the 5K?
It would be if I would do it, if I was there and somebody's like, come on, JC, run, I would run walk it. I would run walk it. I haven't really ran in a long time. I sprint. I'll sprint my hills by my house, but I've never been a runner, and I've done running. But after I tore my Achilles 2-3 years ago, the only running I've done is
rehab,
doing a sport, doing a basketball or doing football drills.
Isn't that how you tore your Achilles?
And running the hill. Yeah.
So
I tore my Achilles doing flag football.
So maybe don't go back to that stuff.
Well, I can't, man.
No,
I love it, man. I'm very competitive, man.
I got you. All right, let's go to Phil in North Carolina. Phil, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so let me bear with me for a second. I want to just vent about game management, and then I got a couple other quick comments after that. So I'm going to put the game management plus kicker management in the same bucket. And how many games have we lost because of kicker mismanagement in the last 3 years?
Well, I would say kicking issues has been at least 3.
At least 3. Yeah, I would even bring it up a little bit more than that, 4. But yeah. So we've let 3. Let's go with 3. We've let 3 games, 1 each year. Because you can even say to me the Washington game was a kicking issue this year, right? We didn't have a kicker.
I mean, Washington, they lost 21-7. I don't think that's
the first game.
Yeah, I mean, no. There wasn't a kicking issue against Washington. Gano got hurt in Game 3 against the Chiefs, correct?
I'm not sure.
No, I think it was the first game.
No. The first game of the year, Gano made 3 50-yard field goals. That's how the Giants scored 9 points.
All right, maybe I'm mixing the Chief game then.
Am I wrong about that? I'll check it anyway.
But yeah, so when are we gonna kind of reassess how we're doing things with that? Because it seems like we rely on Gano, and then Gano's been getting hurt, and he's older, and then there's a whole bunch of dominoes that affect things after that. I just think we have to reassess what we're doing here, and we're not, go draft in the 7th round a healthy kicker, a young healthy kicker.
Well, I mean, Phil, I don't think drafting a kicker is necessarily the answer. Just because I've seen kickers drafted in the 3rd round get cut the year they get drafted. Later, yeah. So, however you're going to do it, but look, you have to make sure you have a healthy kicker that can do the basic things you need a kicker to do. When Gano's been healthy, he's been able to do that. There's been too many times where he has not been healthy when they've needed him over the past couple of years. They have Younghoe Koo on the practice squad if they need him this week as a kind of a breaking case of emergency. If they want to make sure if Graham's active, his practice window got open this week, you want to have him there in case something does happen again. You can go that direction if you want. The Giants have been they've basically had no comments on that. They said we'll figure that out at the end of the week. So look, you do have to make sure you have a kicker that you can trust to do basic things like kick extra points. And we'll see what that looks like this week.
I'll tell you what, though. I do like the accountability, even though they released him. I do like that Jude took it.
Oh, he did after the game, absolutely.
After the game, Daboll, if I'm not mistaken, he was talking about the operation of the first kick that he missed. And Jude said, no, I'm a professional kicker. I got to make kicks.
And he's right. The ball was down for him.
So
he should have made the kick.
I always have a lot of respect for guys like that. Listen, you got a job to do, right? Just like I did when I played, just like you do, John, right? Just like Pearson does. If you don't do your job well, you're not going to have a job for long. So that's Jude, maybe he'll get signed somewhere else. But listen, people give kicker so much, you got one job to do, and it is true. But it's pressure, man. And if you've ever kicked a ball before, if you miss it by just a little bit, a millimeter to the right or left, you're not going to make the kick. I'm terrible at kicking. It's not, for me, it's like the margin of error is so small, and some kickers can do it. It's like golf. I feel like
I was about to say the exact. I was about to say it's just like golf.
It's like golf. So the Giants are trying to figure it out. Graham Gano career, he's always been a good kicker until he started getting hurt. Basically, the last few years, and then it's like maybe if he's healthy, maybe he can. If he's healthy, he's a fantastic kicker. But the question is Graham Gano healthy? And sometimes because of the injuries that he had. Sometimes you think you're healthy when you start the game, and you're really not. Playing linebacker, it might affect me, but it definitely affects kickers. And I think that's affected Graham Gano several times. So 3 of those games, I think 2 of them you could accredit to that.
Phil, statement number 2.
Yeah, so related to the game management, the 2-pointer that we went for after you missed the first one. I thought Parcells always said don't chase points, right? That early in the game. Our 2-point conversion has been horrible. We've let up a lot of 2-pointers, but our 2-point conversion was horrible. Did you agree with that, that decision at that time? Because I didn't.
So he's arguing that the kicker situation is, questionable, but now you're asking why did you go for 2? He's you know what I'm saying?
Because of our percentage. Yeah, no, I got you.
You're kind of contradicting yourself there, brother.
Yeah.
So, Phil, what I would say, you never know what the score's going to look like. So I'm of the mind, and the mathematics people would tell me I'm wrong about this and that I'm incorrect. I don't like to go for 2 early in the game to try to even out the score because I think you never know what it's going to look like in the 4th quarter when you get there. But the math guys will tell you that in those situations, even early in the game, you should go for 2.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't go for 2 early in the game. And okay, so last thing I just want to say, you were talking about Saquon, and I would argue that it's a small sampling that Scatterable for our team is more useful because he's much better at yards after contact than Saquon is. Well, I don't have the stats on that, but it's just my eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah. Go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'll take my, I'll listen to you guys off the air, but that's my point with Saquon is that he didn't, you got to give him that first 4 yards. Then after that, he can do stuff.
Thank you, Phil.
He's not very good in the beginning.
No, I got you. I would say that Scadaboo is a more consistent get like 1 or 2 more yards than what's blocked for you, because he's just going to put his, with
he'll
low
run right
center
into
of gravity
the back of his own lineman
and just fall forward for a couple of yards. But he doesn't have the big playability that Saquon has. So I think that to me is the difference with, between the two guys. Which one's more useful for the Giants? You can make the argument as to which style of running back you would rather have. But I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that Scadaboo, as good as he is a better running back than Saquon. But he's been great this year, and he gets those tough, dirty yards consistently. Yep.
I think he's fantastic. I think Scadaboo's fantastic. Not just his playing style, but his attitude and his approach and his energy that he brings to this team, and him and Jackson Dart, man, they're 2 peas in a pod. But look, Saquon, man, he had one of the greatest, if not the greatest season we've ever seen from a running back last year, if you want to include the playoffs. So, you can't take that from him, and he led that team to a Super Bowl. But, did I say this last week? Somebody asked me about the comparison, who would be hard to tackle between Scadaboo and Barkley. Did I talk about that?
Yeah, I was not here, though, so tell me.
So Paul Dottino, I think I was talking to Paul. So somebody asked me during the game, they were like, who's a harder tackle? I said Saquon's a more difficult tackle because he could do so many different things. He can run you over, he can stiff arm, you can jump over you backwards, right? He can run away from you, he can hit you with a juke. Scadaboo, though, that's going to hurt. Like, that's 100% a pain tackle. It might be a concussion tackle, a ding tackle. Like, he's going to bring it no matter what. He doesn't have the arsenal of moves that Saquon has, but each of them presents their own threats. And both of them, I think, are tremendous backs. Scadaboo right now is having a phenomenal year, and he's a guy that doesn't go backwards. That's Marshawn Lynch-like. Marchand, and this is different running styles. I'm just talking about the results. I haven't seen Scadaboo go backwards. No,
he doesn't.
Awesome. Like, that is phenomenal. That is his major strength, I think. And we talk about running styles, the running style of going forward every time, I take that running style over anything, any day of the week.
So, were you slightly conflicted when you rewatched the tape of the game last week? And I'm sure you watched the Jackson Dart interception play, and it broke your heart to see,
Oh, no, I wasn't conflicted. I wasn't conflicted. I know what you're talking about.
But did part of you say, like, linebacker, good job giving it to the running back?
No. I said you win some, you lose some.
Okay.
Because Chase Daniels posted it, and I literally said that. Because when I saw it happen, I said, ooh, Scadaboo got blown up, right? And then Chase posted it. Chase Daniels, my former teammate, he posted it. I said, you win some, you lose some. And that was like the #1 liked comment. Because it's the truth. If you bring in it every play, somebody's going to catch you eventually.
You're going to get got.
Right? That's what Marshawn said. You're going to get got, but I try to get more people than I get got. That's the truth in the NFL. I've cleaned people's clocks. I got my clock clean.
Are linebackers going to start taking that type of stuff personally with him, though? Where he's such a physical player, a linebacker's going to be like, no, screw that. This time it's my turn.
It depends what type of linebacker you are. There are guys that are thumpers that are not trying to hit you with moves.
Right.
And there are guys that mix it up, and there are guys that won't take you on. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to take you on. They're going to give you a little shimmy and move around. Just like the style of running backs. You know what I mean? Like, they all got their own styles of how they play. I was a guy that was being tried to be physical early because people will underestimate me because I'm not a big guy, and then I will use my speed after that.
All right, let's get back to the calls as we turn the page to Philadelphia, and let's go to Ali in Dallas. Ali, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, John, JC? Glad to be on here.
Thanks, man. What do you got?
With the Giants handling the Eagles 2 weeks ago, 34-17, I think there's a lot of opportunities for the offense to really show out. I'm just comparing the trends of what's been going on lately. For Jackson Dart, I think that this is a great opportunity for him to correct some things that he may have been inefficient on in the past couple of weeks and be able to progress on some of his positives as well. Also, a potential great showing for the wide receiver core as well. I think Wan'Dale Robinson showed out when he played against the Eagles. I saw the Giants just signed a wide receiver as well. Looking like a good opportunity to throw the ball to Hyatt.
I would say this, Ali. I think it's interesting because, one, Vic Fangio is an excellent defensive coordinator, okay, especially with what he does in the secondary. Cooper DeJean,
Absolutely.
who he got banged up in that game. Giants attacked him. They still couldn't complete a pass late in that game after DeJean kind of hurt himself. He's a really good player. So he's going to be in the slot. I don't know how much Wan'Dale's going to be in the slot because they play so many two tight ends now, so he's played outside a lot more. But that could be an issue. If Mitchell's back and if Slay's back, you'll get the Mitchell-Slayton matchup. So I think you're looking at whoever that other outside wide receiver is going to be, whether it's Little Jordan Humphrey, to your point, Ali, whether it's Jalen Hyatt or somebody else. That's the guy, to me, that the Giants are going to target. We saw in that game 2 weeks ago, before Mitchell went out, they weren't throwing it at Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah.
They were looking for number 7, Keely Ringo.
Number 8.
And it was number 8? Sorry. And
No. Number 8 too. Number 8 as well.
And Adorie's number 8,
yeah.
correct. And they just attacked whomever was in the game that was not Cooper DeJean or Quinion Mitchell relentlessly. So whomever they have against those two corners, that's who the Giants are going to throw the ball to. To be totally honest with Ali, I think that's, to make it simple, that's what the game plan is going to be.
Yeah, and Jackson Dart, look, he's shown a lot of promise, but he's still like green when it comes to football, in NFL football.
And you still see that, by the way, when you watch the tape.
Yeah, and he's going to get better. Like this is a guy that, when it all breaks down, he's just playing with natural ability and the things that he's been doing for 16 years, however long he's been playing football for.
I don't want to downplay it, JC, but would I be wrong to call it a lot of his successes come playing street ball?
Oh, no, for sure, 100%. But he does it at a very high level.
Very well.
He's very consistent. His awareness, his escapability of the pocket.
He sees the
his
whole
ability
field
to
when he's on the move.
When he and the decision making to throw and run. Like when he's scrambling, he can run it, but he's looking to pass. But sometimes he just make a decision to run.
That throw to Robinson, stepping up in the pocket on the 4th and 19, that was an unbelievable throw.
Unbelievable. I mean, but he made several plays like that this year already.
Yep, he did.
The ability to navigate the pocket. I mean, Denver, they are the best pass rush team in the league by far. It's not even close.
And they got their 4 sacks, but that was not consistent
he had 9
pressure on
the week
him.
before.
Correct, yes.
And Dart was able to kind of escape, and of course Andrew Thomas being healthy was there. I'm kind of getting away from the point there, guys, but go ahead.
No, you're all good. I definitely appreciate the analysis, and it's pretty much on par for what I'm viewing as well. I like his moxie and his intuitiveness and the way he's able to pretty much be a point guard as the quarterback and just be able to make decisions on the fly. I like to be able to see his vision and stuff. I'm really into what Scatterboo and Tracy are offering as well. To me, it's looking like, I guess the format for the rest of the season will be like a 1-2 punch, kind of similar to like Ahmad Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs-esque. It's kind of not the same players, but kind of similar style in the way they kind of approach things.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be a lot of Scatterboo, and I think Tracy's going to be the change of pace. And I think that's what you're going to look at here, JC.
Yeah, they're two different running backs. They add two different things, but both of them are good receivers, which I like about having both of those guys on the team.
And this could be a big check down game against Fangio with all his too high safety stuff. This could be a big check down game.
Yep. So they look, and the Eagles do have some tackling issues. They let some tackling, especially on the outsides. They let some big plays happen because of missed tackles.
Sure.
So the Giants. Look, the Eagles are ripe for picking right now.
When's the last time, JC, through 7 games, the Eagles had the 5th fewest sacks in the National Football League?
I mean,
you don't see that.
You don't. No, not at all. But they're getting guys back.
Do you think Brandon Graham's playing this week?
Did they sign him?
He's back, yeah.
They signed him?
Yeah, he's back.
I've been hearing, but I thought they were just like saying like, oh, they're gonna call Brandon Graham.
The line of the century, and I this quote was read out loud, so maybe I hadn't checked if it was real. But apparently they asked Brandon Graham about it. He goes, yeah, it's like being back in the member of a country club. You get your card to check in, and you get a free lunch.
I didn't know that. Well, I mean, yeah, but he's been chilling, bro. Like I know he's been chilling because he retired, right?
He's doing media stuff like NFL Network.
He retired. Look, I don't expect Brandon Graham to be the same Brandon Graham we seen from a couple years ago or 10 years ago. Definitely not. But he does add a leadership presence in that locker room. He does have an energy about him that's contagious, like a Scatterboo, like a Dart. So, he might be able to raise him up just by being out there and lined up and suited. He don't even got to be suited up. He could be on the sideline yelling like Sterling Shepard used to do for us.
Sterling's still playing now, though, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about when
down.
Sterling was hurt and he was on the sideline. I've never seen someone so much engaged.
Really?
So remember Sterling?
Right.
He was just always all over the place.
He never shut up. That's true.
But like that keeps you fired up because like guys respect. Shep, very well respected.
Oh, yeah.
Same as him. So when you got a guy like that in your face, like, yeah, bro, like, you're like, yeah, man, like, it gets you fired up and get hyped too. So he can kind of raise the energy just by being out there. He's a fiery type of guy. So hopefully he doesn't play, or hopefully he does play and he looks like he's retired, if he's out there. So
what else you got, Ali? Is that it? Or are you good?
Just one more thing, and you're definitely on par with that. I think Jameis Winston, he may be that locker room guy for them now. Mm-hmm. But pretty much in terms of my final point, not really going to get into the secondary. I think somebody else may ask that. But just kind of when looking at the offense, I know that the Giants in open field, I like how they perform. I think they're pretty efficient, and they create opportunities out of nothing sometimes. But, kind of getting into that red zone efficiency, I see that they're ranked in the bottom third of red zone touchdown rate, and especially them playing in Philly, I'm thinking like, wow, okay, being able to close the deal and pretty much get through the end zone would be pretty nice to watch as a fan perspective. Even with some attempts with honestly going for a kick. I'm not sure if Younghoe Koo's going to be playing, but I know lately the Giants, they've been going for it on fourth, which I'm a fan of in some instances, but just an idea. I haven't seen them run to the left either on the weak side. Just little things. I was just wondering what would be their red zone approach going forward, knowing that the Eagles are more bolstered up and more compact, Jalen Carter being back and some of the more secondary pieces really beefing up what they have going forward.
Thanks, Ali. And look, I think if you look at the overall season numbers, for the Giants in the red zone, they're not good. But since Dart and Scadaboo have become centerpieces of this offense, the red zone has gotten much better.
Yeah, and he asks about the approach, and the thing about the red zone is, the field is a lot wider than it is longer, so I think the RPO game, having the ability to run the ball, pass the ball, and run the ball in several different ways, I think that, provides an advantage to the Giants, and we have seen that happen, and Dart's decisions, his decision-making and the ability to use his legs when a play breaks down, and his ability to do it right now, I think is an advantage for the Giants, man. The kid, I think he made a poor decision last week, but he makes mistakes, but I think he's a pretty good decision maker. I think he makes really good decisions, and I think he's decisive, meaning he makes quick decisions. So it's not always about making the right decision, about making it quick. And I think down in the red zone, I think that's why you're seeing the Giants progress in the red zone, because the last few years, the Giants have been very bad in the red zone, and now they're doing a lot better, I think, because of his decision-making when he get that ball in his hands.
Brian Dable did his drive-by today with the media. There's no cameras on that. He just talks to the media. So apparently, no Brian Burns at practice today. Again, apparently it's the hip, not something lower body, but lower in the leg.
Hip is lower body. I was about to say.
Well, he had a boot on leaving the game on Sunday.
Yeah,
you can't put a boot on a hip, bro.
He's a robot, bro. He's gonna play.
No,
sure.
I know. And I was about to say, and he spoke to us in the locker room yesterday, and he said he was gonna play the game. Yeah. So I'm not that worried about him. But no Adebo and no Holland, both with knees. Ooh. So those would be the two guys that I would keep an eye on over the next couple of days to see if they're. And this is via Dan Duggan. If those two guys are going to go on Sunday, which if they don't. And I don't know if A.J. Brown, he didn't practice yesterday. I don't think there's a huge concern that he's not going to play in this game. You're missing those two guys with that receiving core, including Dallas Goedert. Not great.
Yeah, and that definitely makes me a little nervous, and it's not always about the ability. It's more about the mental things, right? Because last week, when you look at the Vikings film, Devontae Smith was wide open a couple of times, like wide open in the middle of the field. That's not skill. That's mental stuff, right? That's a mental error, a missed assignment, something like that. And younger guys, that's just what they're prone to do. They're prone to make mistakes, and this team will capitalize it against you if you make mistakes, right? They have two of the best receivers in the league. I don't care what anybody says about A.J. Brown and all of the stuff that he's saying. When he's going, he's going. And Devontae is a guy.
Do you think he enjoys the attention he gets for his dopey, cryptic social media things?
Yeah.
He's got to do it. It has to be on purpose by now, right?
He's a troll for sure.
You think so?
I think so.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. I think he enjoys seeing people overreact to it. I bet he's sitting there next to Jalen Hurts,
Look. Yeah.
You see what I'm going to do now?
Well, listen, there's a dynamic, right, from the number one receiver and a quarterback. There's always an interesting relationship. And sometimes it's not even the best relationship, but when they're on the field, they're just, you know what I mean? They have a chemistry when they're on the field. And no matter what happens off the field, I just feel like at the end of the day with A.J. Brown, all of the antics and stuff like that, he's a phenomenal football player.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
You know, he can do everything. He can run good routes. He's a very physical guy. And Jalen Hurts, man, when it comes down to it, he is looking for him. He is looking for A.J. Brown. When it gets tough, when it gets that. So I don't care what we hear about their relationship. When you trust a guy, you rely on a guy, that's the guy you throw to on third down. And that's the guy that he's throwing to on third down, A.J. Brown.
No question about it. Yeah. By the way, if you want to do a little college scouting, you can get in there and look at Chris Brown. No, not Chris Brown. Chris Jones from Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
He has some very A.J. Brown-like traits.
Okay.
So I would keep an eye on him if you want to watch a little college tape. He had a big game last week. Really, really good player. Let's go to Tim in Charleston. He's up next. Tim, what's going on?
Hey, John. Hey, JC. How you doing?
What's going on, Tom?
I got three things. Just one quick thing on the last game, and aside from all the errors and you know the fatigue and all the stuff that went on in the fourth quarter.
Chris Bell. Chris Bell.
This is well. I want to boil that game down to this. We got 32 points on 5 touchdowns. The Saints got 30 points on 4 touchdowns. We had one more touchdown, only 2 more points, and that's the game in a nutshell right there. For everything else excluded.
That's a fair point.
That being said, I want to have some optimism, even though we're 2-5. In Jackson Dart's 4 starts, we've got 14 touchdowns in 4 starts, and only one of them came off, after a turnover, put us in real positive field position.
Tim, the Giants, in Dart's 4 starts, they're averaging 25.6 points per game. It's the best run they've had since the end of the 2022 season in terms of points per game.
That's 10 points higher than we did last year.
And
we're about 15
last
year, right?
Last game.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Even in this last game, every touchdown drive was over 50 yards. There were no short fields.
Yeah.
Now, last year, we scored 30 touchdowns in the entire season, and I think only 28 of them were on offense. So in 4 games, our offense has scored half as many touchdowns as we scored in 17 games last year.
The kid's a playmaker, man.
Fans don't see that as a reason for optimism. The record is tough to deal with, but if we don't see that as a reason for optimism, then, and that leads me into, obviously, the concern now is the defense.
And again, Tim, by the way, really quick, I just want to point out, too, the fact that Andrew Thomas has been healthy for this stretch has been invaluable. Yeah. Because if he's not out there, I'm telling you, this looks a lot different.
Yeah, it does.
Of course. But, my concern is obviously the defense, especially in the secondary, having those guys out, particularly the corner. I think Belton is, not perfect, but an adequate replacement. I mean, Trey Banks has got to step it up, and we need to see more there. And I think our red zone performance has been great the last 2 weeks, where we scored 5 touchdowns. When was the last time we scored 5 touchdowns in 2 consecutive games? That's one you'd have to look up. You'd probably have to go back a long ways.
Yeah.
We're going to need our kicker. So I hope is back and healthy. And, one other thing, you were talking about uniforms before. I'm going to be wearing my white Harry Carson 86 Super Bowl uniform with the Spider Lockhart patch on it. Nice. And go Giants, beat Eagles, and I'll take the rest off the air. Thank you, guys.
Nice.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate the call. I'm not sure we have anything to say off of that.
Nah, that was awesome. He first of all, he be on his stats, man. He be on his information. He be pulling up the numbers.
Tim does his work.
Yeah, he does.
He absolutely does.
Salute you, Tim. I'm excited about this weekend, man. And look, it's an interesting thing because you are what your record is, right? And right now, the Giants are a bad team according to their record, right? They're 2-5, but they don't look like that on the football field. They don't look like a bad team. They visually they look like they can compete with anybody. And I think they can. And that's a really good feeling to have because, Schmeelk, I don't remember the last time I felt like that. Because even in the playoff run, I didn't feel like they could compete with teams in the division, and They didn't. They couldn't. Not Dallas and Philly, but now they can. They beat Philly. They beat Philly very handily. They doubled the score on Philadelphia. So this team, man, I'm feeling different, about the team. I think everybody is, because the team is different, right? Jackson Dart said it before. I think it was after the Chargers win or one of those games where he was talking about we weren't involved in all of that negative stuff and all of that losing back in the day. That's a summation of what he said. And so all of that stuff about the Giants can't win in Philly, this is not the same Giants team. This is not the same team that can't win in Philly. This is not the same team that can't beat Philly at all. They just beat them. So this team is a different team. And they are 2-5. Right? They have to be able to pull wins out for us to stand on what I'm saying right now. But they feel different. They look different. They're competing. They're scoring points.
Well, look, that's the difference. And I think you can't, JC, you hit it on the head, man. When you can go into a game and you believe on any given possession your quarterback can make a couple of big loose plays and can help drive you down and score points, it makes all the difference in terms of how you feel about these games. Even when you're in them, you go down a score. You went down 10 points in a game last year. It felt like you were down 30.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that way
and
anymore.
It looked like it, too.
Right.
Yeah. It does not feel like that. And look, man, the kid has energy. It's contagious. I feel like everybody is building off of it. I just need to see less mistakes, right? Because last week in that fourth quarter, what we saw was a summation of all the mistakes that the Giants have made this year in one quarter. Right, getting out leverage, false starts, offsides, like all of the things we've seen that costed a game or a possession here or there. It happened all in the fourth quarter.
And a lot of them weren't physical mistakes either.
A lot of them was mental mistakes, right? And a lot of times, and it kills me every time I see it. And it's not one person on the defense. They keep going out inside of these blocks on the perimeter, and it's like, we have to stop doing that.
Thibodeau on the keeper with Knicks, and then Banks went inside too on the same play, right?
It's so many times, and it's like, guys.
Carter had one on one of those plays too.
We have to stop doing that. That's the cardinal sin. Like, you literally have 10 teammates on the field. When you do that, you take them all out of the play. You take them all out. You take them all out, and you get and most guys in the NFL, offensive guys, they want to go outside. That's what they want to do.
Oh, yeah, because there's fewer bodies.
Right, and they got the sideline there. They can just run out of bounds, not get touched, stop the clock, whatever the case is. But for me on defense, that's what's kind of like killing me the most. Like, I'm seeing that, like, what are we doing? Like, mistakes will happen, right? But you, as a unit, they can't keep making the same mistakes. Against this team, the Eagles, they do one of the best jobs, no matter what their record is right now. They do one of the best jobs in capitalizing off your mistakes.
They do. I'm with you. And by the way, I mentioned this earlier when the caller called me. Ray McLeod is the new receiver the Giants have brought in. He had 686 receiving yards in Atlanta last year. So just someone to keep in mind that the Giants will have in the mix this week, and we'll see whether or not he's active on game day. Let's go to Elliot in Puerto Rico. He will wrap us up today. Elliot, what's going on, man?
Hi, John. Hey, Jonathan,
Boricua, what's up, man? Is this Wilson's cousin? Is this Wilson's brother?
Okay.
No. Elliot's much more reasonable.
They're right.
John, you remember that first of when the season starts, I told you that I will wait 4 weeks until I see what we have, and I just wait, and then I move my timeline because of the change of the quarterback.
Yeah, you had to, right?
And now that Dark have 4 games, and we are like 2-2 in the Dark era. So I don't feel like the sky is falling. I think that it's very refreshing. It's very like I'm feeling very hopeful for the future. I think that he is our QB1. I don't like the hits that he takes, but it is what it is. And I'm very hopeful for the future of the franchise. I'm not going to talk about the last game because in a game that you scored 30 points or more, you should win that game. But it is what it is.
Yep.
And I just want to, I don't know. I was not hearing the program before, and I don't know if you talk about this, but what do you think is the most important thing for the path to victory this Sunday? And I think that for me is our secondary.
No, look, Elliot, I'm with you. I think if they're, especially with the 2 injuries out there with the Debo and Holland, but I think I said this, was it Tuesday with Howard or Monday with Paul? I don't remember. To me, JC, the thing that still worries me with this team is too many times when other teams decide they're going to throw the ball downfield. And I think this team's pretty good at those like passes right around the line of scrimmage, crashing down on those little screens or quick throws. They crash down. I think they usually do a pretty good job tackling those, and they don't let big runs off of those. I think they're good at those. But when teams decide to throw the ball down the field, there's just too much space.
Yeah.
Too many times when they're throwing the ball downfield. So if you would hope the pass rush can help mitigate that. It hasn't consistently enough this year. If there's one defensive worry that I have above all else, I think for me, that would be it.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page with you. You know, when that ball's in the air, man, and most guys, they're in the position. That's the thing. Like, they're not like getting beat. They're not like mental errors. They're not like leaving guys wide open.
Guys aren't getting toasted left and right here.
And it's not one guy. Like, there's not one guy. It's a lot of the guys when that ball's in the air and it's coming down to their guy and their 10 receiver. It's almost like they panic, you know, right at the end, or they just don't play the ball well enough. You know, and that does scare me. And this is a team that. This team is not going to pick you apart. Jalen Hurts is not that type of quarterback.
No.
They are going to throw the ball deep to those 2 receivers.
Yeah, this isn't like Drew Brees where he's going to surgically dissect your defense.
Not at all. No. These are big play guys. And yes, there's checkdowns that happen. There's definitely hitches. Goddard's a guy that they definitely feature around the middle.
But you're almost throwing those hitches to set up the stop and go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they also they're like checkdowns, basically. Correct. You know, there's like you're looking, and there's like, all right, the hitch is there.
Well, and also when you can't run it, you have to throw short passes to put yourself into better down and distance, right?
They're like extensions of the run game.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That was scares me because the last game we put like 3 or 4 only in the box at the end of the game, and you have all those people over there, you know, like 6 or 7 or 8 out, and they, you know, throw, and we couldn't do anything. So I don't know.
No, look, Elliot, I hear you, man. Appreciate the call.
It's frustrating, but and I know that you feel the same pain because you're there with them, and to, you know, score and 30+ points and blow the game, and we were like 19-0, something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, and Elliot, and Elliot, that's the thing too, and I appreciate the call. And JC, I think you made this point well. That's why I can't lose my mind when people want to call up and blame Shane Bowen and blame the coaches. I feel like guys are in position to make plays most of the time.
Yeah.
As a player, isn't that all you can ask your coach to do?
Yeah, that's it.
This isn't the Dallas Cowboys where until this week they were better against the Commanders, where guys are running in the secondary and there's no one within like 20 yards of guys. Like when you start seeing that, then you can start worrying about what the coaches are teaching, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like if the guys were making the plays there and it's like, all right, man, that was a horrible call because like you said, this guy's wide open or this guy didn't have a chance. That's not the case. That's really not the case. And Elliot talked about scoring 30 points. Basically, both games that the Giants scored 30 points, they lost. But I think it was because of mistakes made. You can blame it on the call, but it's a collective effort. Like I played football for 17 years. I've never looked and been like, man, that was a bad call. You know what I mean? Like, it was only one time. Let me take that back. It was only one time.
Can you tell me?
Yes, I can tell you. So we talked about Storm from Spagnola, right? The all-out blitz, right?
You got
this is the one time I think B.J. Goodson was the middle linebacker.
Call, huh?
Yeah, B.J. Goodson was the middle linebacker, right? He was calling a call. He had the green dot. It was Storm. It was called against, I think, the Commanders at the time. They were the Redskins.
Was that Kirk Cousins?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. And we had Storm called. It was like a false start or a penalty or offside or something or a timeout. It was something. But we showed our hand. We showed that what we were doing.
Oh, and he called it again.
And he called it again.
Oh, no.
And I was like, BJ, we can't run that. I was like, BJ, we cannot run that play. He was like, oh. I said, bro, call something else. But they're getting lined up. So it's hard to like
did you
override.
call something else?
I did it. If
Did
I was in the middle, he would have, but he didn't. And
but did you do
Storm,
it?
And then they scored a touchdown.
Oh, so you didn't change the play?
No, I did it. I should have did it. Like, I felt responsible. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but BJ's
I didn't blame Spags. I felt responsible.
BJ's what, like a second-year player?
Yeah,
now,
he was
right?
so young. So I get it, but I felt responsible. Like, I didn't say, oh, it was Spags' fault. I feel like, man, I should have changed the play.
How'd they score a touchdown? Do you remember how they scored?
I think it was just a pass. I don't know. It was a deep pass. I remember it was a touchdown because I walked to the field like, I was so mad.
It was cover 0?
Yes, it was the same play.
That was in 2017 or no, 2015 you said, right?
One of those years. It was a home game against the Commanders, I believe.
I'm going to try to find this.
Go ahead, try to find
quick.
it.
All right, as I try to find this, give me your keys for the Giants to beat the Eagles on Sunday.
The number one key for me is to protect the football. Protect the football and create turnovers. So create takeaways, protect the football, because I think when you look at the stats, those numbers might be all skewed, but the win-losses, I think, for these teams is going to come down to who protects the ball and who takes the football away, just like when they played 2 weeks ago.
Do you remember if you won that game or you lost that game?
I can't, bro. My memory's bad, bro.
Dude,
I remember that. Like, I remember moments.
Boy, yeah. This is impossible to figure out. If you can't even tell me who scored the damn touchdown, if you won or lost, then I don't know. I can't figure
it
out.
It might have been Reed, but I'm not sure because I know Reed caught one on me. Not a touchdown, but caught a pass on me.
Oh, the Jordan Reed, the tight end?
Yeah. He was really good.
He was really good. All right. Yeah, look, I'm with you. I think, you got to win these. You have to win this game on the margins here. I think that's how you do it. You just have to figure out a way to not make mistakes again. They were +2 in turnovers the last time they played Philadelphia. Don't let Saquon finally have his big game.
Man.
Don't let that happen. And I don't think it will because, look, Cam Jurgens is out again. Landon Dickerson's back, but he still doesn't look quite the same to me. So, and they just haven't blocked as well up front. Try to get a lead. If you could force the Eagles want to win these games by controlling them.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to come from behind. That's not how they want to play football. So if you can, again, start fast, get a lead, make the Eagles become a little bit more one-dimensional.
And protect
I think
the lead?
Yes.
Let's hold on to it. Let's hold on to the lead.
And no big plays. You can't allow big plays in the passing game. If you make Jalen Hurts methodically march the ball, I don't think they're going to be able to do that consistently.
I fully agree with that. Yeah, I fully agree. If you can make them, because even if they hit a couple big plays, if you can stand up and be tall in the red zone, you will have success.
Agreed. All right, that's all the time we have for Big Blue Kickoff Live. Check out the Giants Huddle podcast, folks. A lot of good stuff is up there right now. You have draft season, where we talk about some of the up-and-coming prospects in college football. Mike Renner joins us this week. Talk about his midseason top 50. That's a lot of fun. You also have Giants Hangout coming up on the Giants Huddle podcast as well. That went up yesterday. That's Mr. Casillas, Russ, and Brandon London this week with Madeline. Break down and have some fun talking Giants. Wait a second. When I asked them when the last time was that the Giants swept the Eagles, wasn't that the trivia question in Giants Hangout?
We didn't use it this week.
Okay, so I'm going to use it right now then. All right, so the last time the Giants swept the Eagles was in 2007. You remember in the game that they won in Philadelphia, which was the second game that year to win that game for the Giants, who was the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles?
In 2007?
Yeah.
We did use this. Wait, no, it was 2013 we used.
Yeah, it was that year. 2007.
Oh, wait a second.
McNabb.
Am I confusing the two teams, Pearson? 2013 was Vic. That's my bad.
Correct.
No, you're good.
2013
But in
was Vic.
07, that was McNabb for sure.
Yes,
Casillas
2007 was
got Matt
McNabb.
Barkley.
I think it was.
Man, I got the answer. Yeah, give us a hint.
Oh, did you? You got
give
it?
us a hint.
What was the hint that you got?
He said he has the same name as the same last name as the running back. So I was thinking like Barkley. Yeah, I got it.
Interesting. So I'm going to look up real quick. So Giants in 2007. Shut up, Pearson. The Giants won in Philly on December 9th to close out that year, and the starting quarterback for the Eagles was Donovan McNabb. And you man Brian Westbrook in that game, who you love. 20 for 116 on the ground, 5 for 38, and a touchdown in the air in that game. So, yeah, good job. All right, let's wrap things up. That's Big Blue Kickoff Live, presented by Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the Giants. For Jonathan Casillas, I'm John Schmeelk from the Hackensack Meridian Health Podcast Studio. Keep getting better. Tomorrow, Tino and SciTac will give you your full preview of Giants and Eagles coming up on Sunday at 1. Pre-game on FAN with Tiki Barber and I at 11 a.m. Check it out. We'll see you next time.